Hello everyone. In this video we are going to discuss regarding second point, that is flower from morphology of reproductive parts. Here in previous subtopic of inflorescence we have discussed regarding the arrangement of flower on a peduncle, on a particular axis, togetherly known as the inflorescence. Now we are going to study in detail regarding different structures or different parts as well as forms of the flowers. So let's start with the flower. You might have observed a different plant, angiospermic plant, with very beautiful and attractive colors and forms. And these flowers are utilized by human for different purposes. But the main purpose of this flower development in plant is the sexual reproduction of plant by formation of fruit and seeds. So the flower is highly modified shoot bearing specialized floral leaves. The axis of flower is condensed to form a thalamus, commonly bearing four whorls of flower part, that is calyx, which is individually known as sepals. Second whorl of petals, that is known as corolla. Third one, that is whorl of stamen, known as androecium, and whorl of carpel, that is known as gynoecium, which is shown in this figure. In some plants, the calyx and corolla may not be differentiated and represented by single or two similar whorls of perianth, and each individual member of this perianth is known as a tepal. Now, the flower is usually carried on a pedicel and may or may not be subtended by a reduced leaf known as bract. The pedicel may sometimes carry small bracteole. If present, usually two in dicot, one in monocot. So we can define flower as it is a highly modified and condensed shoot of limited growth and specialized for sexual reproduction and formation of fruit and seeds. Now let's discuss regarding different parts of typical flower. So generally bract, pedicel, thalamus, perianth, calyx, corolla, androecium and gynoecium are the parts of typical flower. This diagrammatic representation of flower shows all those parts. Starting from the bottom, there is a pedicel which at the end forms a thalamus or receptacle. On the thalamus there is arrangement of four different whorls of flower. The greenish petal like structure is sepal. Above that there are red color petals. Above that there is a stamen which is formed by anther and filament togetherly, and at the center there is a pistil or gynoecium which consists of stigma, style, ovary and ovule. So let's discuss one by one each part of this flower. So first part, that is pedicel. The stalk of flower is called as a pedicel. A flower with pedicel is known as pedicellate or stalked flower. For example, hibiscus. A flower without pedicel is known as sessile. For example, tuberose. Flower which do not consist a stalk are called as a sessile flowers. Second, that is bract. Flowers may be subtended by a bract, a modified, generally reduced root. Their flowers always may be or may not be subtended with the protective structure, leafy structure known as a bract. Third part, that is thalamus. That is, it is the apex or tip of the pedicel which is slightly swollen. It bears floral leaves. The thalamus is also known as receptacle or torus. The thalamus may be conical, convex, flat or concave in some plants. the thalamus has nodes and internodes, and the internodes are usually condensed and not distinct, but in some flowers internodes are elongated. So up to now we have discussed regarding different parts. First one, this is a pedicel, this is the stalk of plant. Second, that is receptacle. This is the receptacle. The tip of the pedicel is called as a receptacle, and this receptacle has node and internodes on which the different floral whorls are arranged. Now let's discuss regarding nodes and internodes of thalamus. Here are nodes and internodes in flowers. A flower shows 4 nodes and 3 internodes. There are 4 nodal region and 3 internodal region. The internode between calyx and corolla is known as anthophore. The internode between calyx and corolla is known as anthophore. The second internode between corolla and androecium is called as androphore. The internode between corolla and androecium is known as androphore. For example, it is present in passiflora plant. The third internode between androecium and gynoecium is known as gynophore. That is, female flower is present on a internode. So internode is between the androecium and gynoecium. That's why it is called as a gynophore, and it is present in Caparis flower. In Gynandropsis, both androphore and gynophore are present together and known as gynandrophore or androgynophore, as shown in this figure here. At the last figure, there is a internodal region between androecium as well as presence of androphore as well as gynophore is observed, and such condition is called as a gynandrophore or androgynophore. In funiculum and coriandrum, the thalamus projects into the ovary and the carpel remains fused to it, separating at maturity. And this prolongation of the thalamus is known as carpophore. So, this condition is found in funiculum or coriandrum. Now, let's discuss regarding different floral whorls on this node of thalamus. So, here each node of thalamus bears each floral whorl. A flower bears 4 types of floral whorls. These are calyx, corolla, androecium and gynoecium, arranged on thalamus in an ascending order. That is, at the base there is a calyx, then corolla, then androecium and then gynoecium. In this way, from outside to the inner side, the floral whorls are arranged on the thalamus. Now, the calyx and corolla are outermost accessory or non-essential whorls, and these are called as a supporting whorls. Generally, calyx and corolla directly do not take part in sexual reproduction or in a process of pollination, in process of fertilization and formation of seed, and that's why these two whorls are known as accessory whorls, but they support the fertilization of pollination and fertilization. Due to the attractive color of petals, they attract the pollinators for the pollination, and so that the calyx and corolla are togetherly known as a supportive whorls. Now, androecium and gynoecium are the inner and necessary or essential whorls of flower. Because this androecium and gynoecium, androecium is responsible for formation of microspore, that is male gametes, or male which is responsible for formation of microspore, which will fertilize the ovule from the gynoecium. that is female gamete will be produced in gynoecium, and togetherly androecium and gynoecium are responsible for sexual reproduction and formation of seeds, and that's why they are called as essential whorls of flower, responsible for the formation of fruit and seed, and finally for the reproduction of the plant. Now, when all the four set of whorl, that is calyx, corolla, androecium and gynoecium, are present in a flower, it is known as a complete flower. When all the floral whorls are present in a single flower, such flower only called as a complete flower. If any one of these is absent, it is called as a incomplete flower. So any one, that is either calyx or corolla or androecium or gynoecium, if one of the whorl is missing in the flower, such flowers are called as incomplete flower. So this is regarding the definition and parts of typical flower.